Hello friends, again Nayaswami Hriman. This is the last of this series of videos on the 7 stages of meditation. The last video was the inner experiences, but at the end I touched on absorption, which would be stage 5. And in that absorption we go from feeling peaceful, being uplifted into a peaceful state, or enjoying and experiencing some of the astral senses, such as inner sounds or inner lights, or even the presence of a deity or guru in vision or just feeling. I shouldn't say just, there's no just intended. So you go beyond that into just becoming that. At this point in absorption, stage 5, there are no words that can describe it, because words require a subject, a verb, and an object, and that's very much in the dual, I-thou kinds of thing, of relationship. So in absorption, or dhyana as it's called on the Eightfold Path, then we simply become that experience. We enter that light, and all that is real, so far as our experience is concerned, is that light, or is the spiritual eye, or what have you. We become absorbed in it without the thought of I-ness, I having the experiencing, being in the forefront. It simply vanishes and you are that. As I said at the end of the last video, you're not in a trance, you're not unconscious, and you're way more than simply conscious. You are super conscious. Now, after absorption, and this is the last video, the 2 higher stages, which I have not experienced, are the stages in which we go beyond the confines, if you will, of call it the body. It's really not just the physical body, it's the astral body. And when we move into the causal body, we are nearing the portal of self-expansion beyond, far beyond the physical frame of body and personality. Those are the stages 6 and 7 on the Eightfold Path. And samadhi is the highest, associated with the crown chakra, but has 2. I'm going to make 6 and 7 the 2 stages of samadhi most identified by Yogananda. There are other aspects of this, but basically what he said is there's the temporary state of going beyond the bodies into the spirit, beyond all creation, but just temporarily, and then you come back and, oh, here I am again, and gee, that was wonderful, and aren't I wonderful? I had this wonderful experience. And it's great, but as so often is the case with higher experiences, the ego often, when it reasserts itself, takes credit to itself for the experience, and that can cause some problems spiritually speaking for people. But I want to describe this sequence in terms of the 3 concentric circles taught to us in Raja Yoga of the spiritual eye, which has an outer ring of yellow or gold, an inner circle ring, not unlike the eye actually, of a deep indigo or even black, and then a pinpoint of white light, which when seen clearly is a 5-pointed star. And so when we're deeply meditating and we're beginning to leave the confines of our bodies, the astral yellow circle will elongate into a tunnel and invite our consciousness to move into that tunnel. Now, we might at first be unwilling to do so for obvious reasons. We don't know where the tunnel is going. In any case, if we do, and we go through that experience, probably many times I would guess, and then we come to the light at the end of the tunnel, which becomes the causal sphere beyond ourselves, or first through our own causal body and then beyond ourselves. And that's the deep indigo blue or even black color I mentioned, when we live and swim and exist in the causal sphere of joy, then that elongates, we are told, into a tunnel, at the end of which is this 5-pointed star. And when we enter that star is when we truly go beyond all manifested creation, the astral world, the causal world, and finally into the spirit, bliss of the infinite spirit beyond creation. Since I haven't been there yet, I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about that and go into a large description of all of that. There are many stages, as I said, that are talked about. Words you might be familiar with: Jivan Mukta, Siddha, and Paramukta, and Avatar. But I don't think that's as important as or of interest to me in these videos on the stages of meditation. So there it is. I'll end by recounting the 7 stages. The passive state of being mindful of your own flow of thoughts and feelings in the body. I didn't talk much about the body, but being simply self-aware in this body and in this mind. Second stage is focused concentration, or a stage of techniques that are aspirational, meaning we're attempting to achieve something beyond just the subconscious and conscious mind, an experience of our higher self, if you wish to call it that, to experience peace. From that, we move into a state of where all of that ceases and we just be still and know, the state of inner silence. Out of the silence came the song of creation, and so we enter into the fourth stage. I'm losing track of my stages. Fourth stage. Fifth stage, whereby inner experiences come to us out of the platform, the foundation of clearing the mind of thoughts and restlessness of all kinds. And so we experience the astral world of the 5 senses of light and sound. Even tastes and fragrances can come to us in meditation that are not outside of ourselves. And we might have visions, we might have the feeling of a divine presence, etc. We might have intuitions and fresh ideas. From that experience then comes, as we focus on it, as we deepen our meditation every day, days, weeks, months, years, etc., then these states prolong, and we find ourselves absorbed in some of these states from time to time, absorbed in a super conscious way. And then that elongates over, a lifetime or something, finally to the highest samadhi states. First state, Sabikalpa Samadhi, where it's a temporary state, that we come back into the ego, and then finally Nirvikalpa Samadhi, when we are free, and so on. It goes on from there. It's more complicated, but less important to what my goal has been. Okay, you got all that? Now, last thing I'm going to say is I'm going to write an article on my blog, dreamananda.org. Not today, but by the time you watch this last video, I will have written this all up. Okay.